What's up, guys? Chapter 2 of James in our study. We're going to be focusing on the first 9 verses of this chapter in our small groups. But in this passage, James is diving deep into a real issue in the early church, and it's about showing favoritism, right? I say that word, and a million things might pop up for you. Maybe it's mean girls, or getting picked last on the playground, or whatever it might be. We've all experienced favoritism, and if we're being honest, probably have shown favoritism. It's a flaw of humanity that we if we don't get in check, it can kind of rule our lives in a way, right? The way we might assume something about a person based on what they're wearing, how they talk, how they maybe their backgrounds. We all can start to think of those things, right? We're all susceptible to that, and so was the early church. And so this is this passage that is talking about this, that often man sees the outward and makes a assumption, makes a, okay, I know exactly what I need to know about this person, right? Or I might show favoritism. I might actually be more gradually inclined to go and spend time and speak more to this person based on shared hobbies or how they look. And James is just kind of calling that out, saying, hey, there's no place for that in the family of God, and that you can't show favoritism and follow Jesus, because Jesus doesn't show favoritism, and he actually loves us in spite of all of our stuff. Like, he sees us exactly who we are at the inside. He's not worried about the outside, and he gives just as much grace and mercy to all, right? No matter what, if they have a lot of money, no money, real fancy lifestyle clothes, or nothing, right? God loves us all equally the same, and he's calling us to do the same, right? This is very much in the line of when the Pharisees asked Jesus, what is the greatest commandment? He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart. But then he immediately says, and love your neighbor as yourself, right? So if I think more highly of myself and I think less of someone else, it clashes with this greatest commandment to love God. Because when we love God, we receive his love. We understand that he loves everyone. He is welcoming all, and he has created all in his image. So this is going to be a tough passage. And so really what I'd love for you guys to do is just begin to look at areas of our life, because we all have them, myself included. We show areas of favoritism, right? And if we call it for what it is, sin, which is what James does, like, he doesn't hold back. He's like, hey, that's sin. We need to get that in check. Like, the best thing we can do is make it known. And so I could say, hey, I struggle showing favoritism to A, B, or C. And so that's what I want you to do in your small groups. I want you to start talking about that, and maybe experience, or even sharing from the place of how has it made you feel when you have, someone's made a judgment on you based on some kind of circumstance or some aspect of your life, right? How do we know how it feels, right? And realize that Jesus is near and comforts those. And so how can we be people of peace and encounter and show mercy and grace and love to others? And because we know people are experiencing it, right? You can think of the person in your school right now who, man, maybe they're having the hardest time. Maybe they don't have any friends. Maybe they're sitting at the lunch table by themselves, right? Getting blasted on cancel culture, social media stuff, right? You guys see this stuff happening. And I really want to dive deep. I mean, this is a space I think God is really calling us into something more and revealing it, right? Because this stuff will eat us up. Right, it doesn't get easier with older age. Like, the more you can get this under control now and talk about it. So I want to just congratulate you guys already, and thank you for your courageousness. You've been great in these earlier small groups, and like tonight, whenever you're meeting, like, it's just that much more important. Go deeper, be honest, be vulnerable, right? It's a safe space. There's leaders that love you. Now there's students that love you. We want to be the people of God, right? And we want to love God, and we want to love our neighbor, and that's everybody. We don't get to choose that, right? Because God's already determined our value and our worth. So love you guys. Excited to meet with you guys throughout this week. And hopefully you will join us for the study in James 2.